Welcome to this video. I will cover everything you need to know when it comes to a high converting pop-up form. So you're looking to increase your sign-up rate for your pop-up form. Look no further. In this video, I will cover how to set it up, what kind of offers to run, what to pay attention to increase your sign-up rate from wherever you are to wherever you want to be. So without further ado, let's start immediately. So welcome to this pop-up form masterclass. We're gonna go through how to create a high converting pop-up form. I will basically show you how to go from 1.8% sign-up rate to 8% plus, and it's going to be a step-by-step guide, and we're starting off with the meme of the video. He's probably thinking of other women. How can I get my pop-up form from 1.8% to 8% plus sign-up rate? So that's basically probably you if you're watching this video, so let's cover that and go through everything bit by bit. So I basically will go through the offers, the framing, the design, and some technicalities in general. But why do we need to take a look into the pop-up form in and of itself? So in theory, there are many ways to kind of grow an email list, but the single easiest, fastest, and of the highest quality way of doing it is pop-up forms. I mean, just think about your general conversion rate. Like maybe you convert 2% from visitor to buyer. So 90% of the people that you actually pay for on ad side, they're pretty much lost because you cannot convert them back, maybe through some retargeting ads, but in general, they're pretty much lost. So if we can convert just 5 to 10% of those people, that's a huge win. And this will help you to enable spending more on ads as well, so you can actually get into a growth stage. So we can then, if we convert them, not just to buyers at a later stage, but we can convert them to subscribers, we can pretty much retarget them with close to zero additional cost via email and SMS. So collecting the data is pretty vital for us to be as profitable as possible. So while auditing dozens and dozens of accounts, what we saw is the average conversion rate for a pop-up form hovers around like 1 to 3%. A well-designed, well-timed, with a decent offer and actually framed in a proper way, those pop-up forms, they can reach conversion rates of like 8% or higher. And basically, I will walk you through the steps that we take to elevate our clients, that we basically walk through when we do some audits. Yeah, we'll basically go through the step-by-step process that we use for our pop-up forms to go from basically mediocre to super, super helpful. I'm going to cover the different types, converting offers, designs that grab attention, micro commitments, timing, and the visual hierarchy. So without further ado, let's start and get into the topic. But before we do that, I just want to basically tell you that you can get this done all by someone who does that day in, day out, and that's pretty much us. So if you want to get this done, just book a call. There's a link in the description. Make sure to check this out. Other than that, let's start with the first one, the most important thing to keep in mind when it comes to the pop-up form, and it's actually the offer. So what we've seen across the board, no matter the timing, no matter the design, the single biggest factor in increasing your sign-up rate will literally be the offer. So you definitely need to make sure to A/B test the following to find a winning angle, and that's what we do. So 10% versus 15% off, and then obviously 15% off will convert higher, but you have to compare the increase in sign-up rate. Does it actually make sense to have that kind of increase if we basically give up 5% on the first purchase? Then you need to A/B test percentage versus flat discount. So for example, what we've seen for higher AV stores, it actually makes sense to have flat discounts instead of percentages. So for example, instead of giving 10% off, we give $15 off, and that way it's actually more profitable for us and also increases the sign-up rate. So make sure to A/B test that. Now, two most converting angles are buy X, get Y, or buy X, get Y percentage off, kind of free. So that's basically the next thing. So buy one, get one free, for example, is a highly converting pop-up form and also kind of a free item. So if there is some item that you have that isn't that high in cost of goods sold, you can use that to incentivize people to give their email, and that way you bump up the sign-up rate a lot. Like I'm talking a lot, this angle, this is definitely working the best. We saw like many, literally like 3x in terms of sign-up rate. Crazy stuff here. So if you find and you have something that you can give out for free in exchange for the email, that will be huge. And the next one that works great as well, it's just free shipping. Sometimes even better than 10% off or 15% off. So definitely make sure to test free shipping. So yeah, that's basically the angles that we would test, that you can test with your pop-up form. Try to find an angle to an offer that makes sense for your unit economics and stuff like that. Next one, framing. So framing is the difference in how we portray the sign-up form. Instead of writing like long tags, which you probably have, we need to be precise and around the offer. We can make it fun, but do not get boring and write too much, because what we see is like, hey, be up to date, blah 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 blah, like just way too much tags. Like people have super short attention spans, so we want to get straight to the point, to the offer. Hey, we love emails and don't send spam. Sign up to get percentage off, and you'll be kept in the loop. Blah 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 blah. That's way too much. So that's why you need to be like, hey, you want to unlock 10% off? Boom, done. Straight to the point instead of writing long text, and make it around the offer, because that's why people sign up. No one, and I will repeat that, no one will sign up to be up to date with something. Like that's just a super weak angle. So that's the next one, framing. We also need to be careful with data collection in general. So what I see and what actually works sometimes is that you put in some zero-party data collection within the pop-up form, which is great. Like the more data, the better. But do we actually use that data? Most of the brands that we work with, they collect this data and then never look at the data again. And the only thing that happens then is just you're like ruining your sign-up rate, because the more stuff you collect on the pop-up form, the lower the sign-up rate, because people do not want to put like everything in there. So if you're trying to collect first name, gender, interest, blood type, etc., it probably would be better if you just collect email address. And then obviously, SMS as a second step. But we have to understand the more stuff we ask, the lower the sign-up rate. So yeah, get the email and everything else is second priority. That's framing. Now let's take a look at it a little bit about design. As you can see, most of the brands, they want to have design first, but design is actually only third, but it makes a difference. Do not test color button here, but rather how you can make it pop and stand out. Because your customer is actually not only shopping on your site, they are used to getting pop-ups and they saw a lot of these 10% off. So if you find a smooth way to stand out, perfect. It will increase your sign-up rate and decrease the amount of people that, out of habit, close your pop-up immediately. Because if you actually check some customer journeys, you can actually see that people will get the pop-up and they just immediately snap out. Because think about it, why would someone not sign up for a 10% off code? In theory, like it's very good angle, like it's a very good incentive, right? Like they get a discount. Why would not everyone sign up? It's basically because out of habit, and because every brand is doing that and people hate that stuff coming up, they just click away immediately. So if you find an angle to actually pop and basically be kind of there and interrupt the pattern of just clicking out, that would be amazing. So what we try to use, for example, sometimes is these PNG files, because they grab attention, they do not look cookie cutter. So definitely make sure to test that as well. Next one, just the fourth angle. And the fourth way to increase things is just technicalities and smaller tweaks. Timing and behavior change on the pop-up form do have impact, but always need to be put into context, because an immediate page load pop-up form will have a different sign-up rate because people will immediately see it. So without actually going into anything, they will just, sign up. A pop-up form after 45 seconds, they will most likely just have qualified people who would have bought anyways. So, they are really into the product already. So naturally sign up will be higher. So you have to play around with the timings, because something super immediately will have a high chance because it basically will be seen by a lot of people. And then something on the total opposite, it will have a high sign up rate as well, because you only have the ones that are super qualified. So the setup we run with is we test 6 to 18 seconds, and then we have exit intent on desktop. On mobile, it's not really working, so that's kind of what we do. Besides that, you can test a few things. So for example, what we try to implement are micro commitments and reminders. So what I mean by reminders is something that they recently introduced and something that we use, for example, for promos. So for promos, what we use is those reminders. For example, you have a Labor Day sale, and then we just have this pop-up form that says, do you want access to our Labor Day sale? Yes, I want access. No thanks, I don't like discounts. It's not 100% the truth, because in theory they have access anyways, but we see a huge increase in sign-up rates during those times, even though we do not really have something. So what we do during promos is we have this pop-up form and then redirect them to the welcome flow that then has just one email, which is the campaign that we send about the offer. I cover that in the entire flow breakdown of all flows. There's a video on this channel that you can look out for, and I cover those strategies there. But yeah, so that's basically that. Now let's take a look at a few more things. So a bit of a golden nugget kind of thing is what we implement if you have sufficient volume is you can set up a dedicated SMS only pop-up form for people that are already signed up for email but not for SMS. That's something to just collect more SMS. And then what you can have is dedicated pop-ups for dedicated landing pages and, as I said, pop-ups during promos. Besides that, there are a few new settings released in Klaviyo, which is wonderful because for some of these stuffs you needed kind of third-party apps, and the more stuff they put into Klaviyo, the better. So what we can do now is actually we can have a few different timings. So one timing that you can select now is after a visitor sees a certain number of pages. So if we have someone like literally going through everything, they can then get a pop-up that was not possible beforehand. And the next one, which is in my opinion one of the bigger changes, is you can actually have a pop-up form based on the cart content. So you can actually, based on the total cart value, you can give them a dedicated offer. And you can also show them something based on the total number of items in their cart. And you can even show them something based on the product in the cart. So super, super helpful. Definitely make sure to leverage that. We haven't done that yet to the extent where I can like actually confidently go through something because they just released that recently. So I will report back once we see some results coming in, but this is very, very interesting. So yeah, that's basically it. That's the entire pop-up form. I did not show any specific pop-ups and how to create it because that was more kind of a high-level video. If you want me to go through everything in detail to actually show you within Klaviyo how to create one, let me know in the comments. Other than that, I wish you a wonderful rest of the day, and I hope you now know and can finally sleep better because you know how you can get your pop-up form from 1.8% to 8% sign-up rate. Take care. So I hope this pop-up form tutorial was of value to you if you want us to handle all things email marketing related, including the pop-up form. Then make sure to check out the description. There's a link you can click on, gets you to my scheduler, and then we have a super chill conversation, and by the end you'll get a free audit. So if that's not good enough, then make sure to check out some of my other videos. Until then, I will wish you a wonderful rest of the day, and I'll see you in the next one.